This will be number 53 from page 390, chapter 5.5. Okay, so this one starts with 112 degrees 30 seconds, and I'm just going to focus on the tangent. So we're going to use the half angle to find the tangent of this angle. First thing I want to do is change this all into degrees instead of seconds. If you remember, a second is 1/60th of a degree, so this is 112.5 degrees. And then because 112.5 is not on my unit circle, and I know I'm going to be using tangent x halves equals, let's see, 1 minus cosine x, 1 plus cosine x. So because I'm using this identity and using a half angle, I'm going to double this. So if I doubled this, that would be 225, right? Yeah, 225 divided by 2 is the same thing. So I'm going to go tangent of 225 over 2 equals plus or minus. And I'm actually going to pause. If I look at my original, tangent is going to be over here, the 112.5 degrees, and all are positive, sine is positive, tangent is positive, cosine is positive. So I know my answer is going to be negative. Okay, just going to toss that out there so I can remember at the end that my answer is going to be negative. So looking at my unit circle, I need to find cosine of x, and my x is 225. So cosine of 225 is negative square root 2 over 2. So I'm going to have square root 1 minus negative square root 2 over 2 over 1 plus negative square root 2 over 2. Sorry, that got a little messy. So because I don't like this fraction, I'm going to times this whole thing by 2 over 2. So I get plus or minus the square root of 2 double negative plus square root 2. So if I times 1 by 2, I'd get 2. Double negative gives me a positive, and then square root 2 over 2 times 2 is the square root 2. Same thing, 2 minus, because of this minus right here, square root 2. Okay, now this is the weird part with tangent, is I need to somehow get rid of these square roots, and the way I'm going to do that is times this by 2 minus square root 2. Okay, so I would have plus or minus, and I'm going to split this up. I'd have 2 plus square root 2 times 2 minus square root 2 in the numerator. And the denominator, I'd have 2 minus square root 2 and 2 minus square root 2. So I'd have, if I FOILed this, I'd have 4 minus 2 square root 2 plus 2 square root 2 minus 2. That would be my numerator. My denominator, if you notice, I've got the square root of 2 minus square root 2 times 2 minus square root 2. And with square roots, you look for pairs. Well, I have a pair right here, so it becomes 2 minus square root 2. So if we simplify this, we'd have the square root of 2 over 2 minus square root 2. And this part is probably the weird, tricky part that's like not normally what you would think of doing, but it works really well. So now we have to get rid of this square root in the denominator, and to do that we multiply by the conjugate, 2 plus square root 2. 2 plus square root 2. So if we FOIL that, 2 square root 2 plus 2 over 4 plus 2 square root 2 minus 2 square root 2 minus 2 So I get 2 square root 2 plus 2 over, 4 minus 2 is 2. And then we could simplify that to square root 2 plus 1. Okay, is that negative? Remember, it has to be negative. So right here, this plus or minus, this tells me that this is going to be a minus. So minus square root 2 plus 1. So my final answer is negative square root 2 minus 1. And as I said, tangents are going to be your trickiest ones. Hopefully that helps, and yeah, have a great day.